Hey, so I saw Jer's latest video on rediscovering the soul, and I think it's he was talking about getting into more of the experiential aspect of spirituality and less and more away from the intellectual aspect. Yeah, and the whole trying to talk about different metaphysics stuff, getting more into actually just living out the spiritual life and the spiritual practice and. I like what you said about about how about the difficulties you can encounter on the spiritual path and how sometimes it just gets too much and you feel like you're ready to give up, but then you get to that other side and you realize you're willing to suffer 50 times that much in order to just get that key insight. And in a sense, I think that's one of the most damning condemnations of what often passes for this sort of psychedelic spirituality, where people think that they can just take these substances and have spiritual experiences, and that's a legitimate spiritual path. They can help you along your spiritual path, but I think true realization does not come so easily. It often comes with great work on yourself and really struggling to overcome himself, both to empower yourself and transcend yourself. Um, and with that, I guess I want to talk about this program that I've been taking for the past 10 months. I've been taking this Kabbalah program with a group called the Modern Mystery School. Um, I don't talk about this group very often because in many ways they're a bit too like new agey for me. Like they're a lot of the things they teach I don't necessarily agree with, but they're the sort of system of healing modalities and empowering yourself that I've experienced for myself, and I believe in it enough to know that it's doing me some good. You and regardless of whether there's some placebo effect in there, is kind of irrelevant to me. Um, but in any case, for the past 10 months, what they do is, for those of you who aren't familiar with the Kabbalah, I've got this little diagram here. Um, you start off in Malkuth, which is the sort of physicality or the world. It's associated with manifestation and stuff. I guess I'm not going to go ahead and go over all the Sephiroth, but basically then you ascend into Yesod, Hod, and Netzach. That's the personality triad. It's basically the ego, the personality, the intelligence, and emotion and stuff. You go from that to the moral triad with Tiferet and then Gevurah and Hesed, and you perfect sort of the extremes of mercy and severity and attain righteousness, and then finally you cross the abyss. It's known as the abyss of the soul, and into the supernal triad of Bina, Chokmah, and Keter. And but they basically do this in 4 ascensions, and they divide it up among 4 different parts of the tree of life. And last weekend, I was at the final ascension, which was a weekend-long retreat in which we crossed the abyss and ascended into the supernals. And I gotta say, over this past year, it's been really tough for me, and I've struggled a lot, and there have been times where I've just broken down into tears, and it just felt like I couldn't take it anymore. But at the same time, I kept this faith of like knowing that whatever suffering I was going through was ultimately good for me, and it kept me going. And then as we cross the abyss, they tell you that on the other side you will have a face-to-face meeting with God, and which this it kind of implies a certain visual experience, which it wasn't like that for me, but what I did experience was this incredible, overwhelming feeling of agape energy just flowing over me, and like feeling this sea of eternal love, and like I feel like the feeling of like returning to to this cosmic womb of knowing, that you are loved and you are cherished, and and that you are connected to it all. And there's with all my videos on metaphysics, and about trying to find a philosophical foundation for God. It all just pales in comparison to that pure experience of divine love. I mean, I just shudder. When I think about it. It's just so. I just can't convey that level of beauty to people. And when people ask, why do I believe in God? There's, I would, it would be so difficult for me to try to convey that to them, and yet I think it would be hard for me to imagine someone having that kind of experience and not believing in, if not God, then in some sort of sense of what William James called the more. I mean, to truly experience this agape, this infinite feeling of love, I just can't put it into words, and so it's hard for me to express this on a video. But yeah, I guess I just had to get off my chest. It's just I've been buzzing with that feeling all week, and I feel truly blessed to have that kind of experience. So I guess I'll just leave it at that. Peace.